A moment for what kind of weather we can expect in our area as that storm moves our way. But first up, the Richmond County Sheriff's Office looking to take more action after a raid at the Southbound Smokehouse on Central Avenue.
The raid happened a couple of weeks ago where deputies say they found at least 10 minors drinking underage. The manager was cited that night, but now deputies say they want to see more done. News 12's Kennedy Harris live for us now from Southbound over on Central Avenue. So, Kennedy, you say this all started with a list of complaints.
That's right, Laura. Loud noise, drunk driving, underage drinking. These are all the things that people who live in the neighborhood just behind the restaurant have been complaining about for months. And to put it simply, one man said that Southbound just hasn't been a very good neighbor. And after the complaints, the restaurant was inspected on June 11th by Richmond County deputies. According to the letter, the sheriff's office sent 2 officers in with video and audio recording devices. According to deputies, the restaurant was being ran as a nightclub. Tables and chairs were moved out of the way. The kitchen was closed. There was no wait staff. The DJ was present, and the restaurant was packed. Uniformed officers shut down the restaurant that night and says he found 10 underage people intoxicated, and they also recovered 1 fake ID. At that time, the restaurant did have a special duty officer and additional staff member checking IDs at the door. However, the underage attendees told officers the manager was letting them in through the side door, avoiding the ID check. The decision about what consequences the restaurant could face is up to commissioners. And Commissioner Brandon Garrett says he was surprised that the first punishment recommendation was suspension of the restaurant's license.
It is disappointing to get the complaints, but then again, you have to look at what Southbound has done to that area as well. It was kind of one of those leading investors in that area that kind of revitalized that Central Avenue restaurant scene.
And I talked with several people who live in the neighborhood, and they say they haven't really seen any complaints since the raid happened, but the restaurant is facing a suspended business license and suspended alcohol license. I'm working on that story for tonight at 6.
Okay, windy day out there. Kennedy, thanks for keeping us updated on all of that.
Speaking of weather, let's have a live look outside. That's the Calidex coming up. And also an App Store mystery. We're going to check out the app more than 5 years old, now downloaded more than TikTok.
And Facebook has a new platform just for college students. Talk about deja vu. It's how it all started and how it's helping them connect. Coming up.
Hey, baby.
Facebook is rolling out a new program exclusively for college students. It's called Facebook Campus, and it's described as a one-stop shop for all things college. And if you're old enough, you remember that's how Facebook originally started. But some Palmetto State schools, like the University of South Carolina and Benedict College, are already using the program. It's organized by college, major, and grade level. Students can filter through those categories to meet and connect with their classmates. And the minds behind the program say they hope it'll be a space to ask questions, from recommendations for classes to finding a potential roommate. So far, the students say they like it.
Looking within those and seeing what people post and like their comments kind of helped me figure out, I guess, like what is the right fit versus what might not be right for me.
People's social networks are a little bit ballooning now. What it used to be was really being able to see your classmates in your same major, really understand who went to your school, and now there's a lot more people on Facebook. So we really wanted to bring it back to finding a space inside of Facebook where people can do just that and really have a one-stop shop for all of their college needs.
Also trying to reel those young people back into the Facebook, but Facebook plans to continue rolling out the platform this year to more colleges across the country.
All right. There are millions of apps out there in the Google Play and Apple App Stores, and it's not easy for one to find its way to the top of the charts.
But one app, more than 5 years old, suddenly became downloaded more than TikTok. Our consumer tech reporter Jamie Tucker shows us what it does and why you may want to download it too.
Of all the things you can do on a smartphone, one thing you can't do is copy and paste. There's those Control-C, Control-V on your keyboard. That is why this 5-year-old app called Paste Keyboard is suddenly at the top of the charts. It's one of those things you don't think about until you need to do it. Let's say there's a message you need to send, and you send the same message all the time. Maybe your contact information, an invitation to a party, any text you send frequently. A Paste Keyboard makes that simple. Here's how it works. Once you download the app, you head over to the keyboard settings on your phone and add it as an option, like this. Back in the Paste app, type out whatever long text, message, or email you need to send and save it. Now, whenever you want to send that message, use the paste keyboard. By tapping the world icon in the lower left, select it. I can choose which message I want to send and tap it to add to the message. It's really simple. You can switch back to the Apple keyboard at any time by, again, tapping on the globe icon. So why has it gone viral? TikTok. Users on that network started posting about it, and soon copy-paste keyboard jumped from obscurity to notable. So is it worth the time and effort to download, install, and get it set up? It is if you frequently send the same message over and over again to different people. In that case, it saves time and it's effortless. I'm Jamie Tucker, and Paste Keyboard is the app of the day.
Something I'm surprised Apple didn't address years ago.
Yeah, it is
right?
crazy, but this sounds great for scammers out there. You know, you can just bang them out. You get
Well,
50 in a minute.
Thanks for that. Just made it easier for the bad guys.
That's like the only people who are texting me anyway.
Multiple times, yeah,
like,
sure.
I'm like, stop texting me.
Yeah.
But Paste Keyboard does work on iPhones, iPads, Android. It's free with advertisements. An ad-free version is $3, but nobody's paying for that.
Hey, look at the cloud cover we've got here. That's not special effects.
In your area.
From the station that's on your side, breaking news.
Good evening. A jury decides not to charge a now former Georgia State Trooper in the death of a man in Screven County. This afternoon, that grand jury opted not to charge Jacob Thompson in the death of Julian Lewis.
Lewis died last August after Thompson shot him during an attempted traffic stop on a dirt road. He was originally charged with murder, but a grand jury says those charges now will not stick. Back now to our story of a raid at a popular Augusta restaurant. New documents just posted today. We told you earlier this month Augusta commissioners would be hearing allegations against Southbound Smokehouse.
And that will happen this Thursday. The Southbound on Central Avenue raided back on June 11th. Allegations of underage drinking and the restaurant operating as a dance club. But in a letter just released today, the sheriff's office lays out their case.
Our Kennedy Harris is live over near Southbound, breaking down what that letter says. Kennedy.
Laura, this letter details what deputies saw inside of Southbound, and it details the things they found while they were investigating. And I spoke to several people who live in that neighborhood right behind me, and they told me the problem started a few months ago. To summarize, one man said Southbound was just a bad neighbor. Loud noise and underage drinking.
I've gotten, a few complaints as well as some videos that people around the area had sent me. And, it is disappointing.
The Richmond County Sheriff's Office wants commissioners to suspend the business and alcohol license at the Augusta location of Southbound Smokehouse for violating city code. The letter sent to Augusta's Planning and Development Director detailing the raid says deputies entered the packed restaurant with audio and video devices on June 11th. They said tables were moved, the kitchen was closed, and the restaurant was operating as a nightclub with a DJ included. They also found a cooler of beer behind the bar.
One of the very first questions that I raised was, isn't there an off-duty police officer that the restaurant hires to look at people's IDs?
The letter says there was an officer and staff member checking IDs at the door, but underage drinkers told deputies the manager let them in a side door, avoiding ID checks.
Does the liability lie on the officer that they're required to hire, or does it, still fall on the restaurant?
Garrett says in his 3 years as commissioner, the commission has never suspended a license, which would shut down Southbound for 90 days. He thinks it might be a little harsh.
Let's say, hey, correct this problem, but stay in business.
And the Richmond County Sheriff's Office will plead their case to commissioners on Thursday. If the license is suspended, they will also have to serve a probation period after that 90-day period is up. And like I said, they'll take that to commissioners on Thursday and plead their case. Commissioner Garrett also says he just wants to make sure the process is fair for the restaurant.
I think a lot of people were surprised by this whole thing. That is a well-known established restaurant right there on Central Avenue. Kennedy, thanks for the live update there. This swirling green off the Atlantic coast, a new tropical
up in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Riley. A suspect is in custody after a woman was found dead in a home near Westminster Schools. Richmond County deputies called to Hillwood Lane around 12:45 this afternoon, and that's right off of Wheeler Road, right by Westminster. Crime scene tape and police cars surrounded the home this afternoon. Investigators have not yet said how the woman died or released her name.
Also this evening, changes are coming for hundreds of patients at University Hospital. Force there. University told us that this decision was between the two parties to extend the agreement. They also say these contracts are with University and are not related to their potential partnership with Piedmont Healthcare.
Now hiring, that is the message on dozens of signs around our area. Aiken County Schools, Richmond County Schools, and the City of Augusta are all looking for workers. Celeste Springer shows us the big search for employees.
Job seekers were out today in Aiken. The school district hosted a career fair looking for candidates for custodial positions. They also tell me they're hoping to fill some teacher positions as well, over 60 of them, before the school year starts. We've been hearing from employers for weeks about the need for employees, and now all across the CSRA, the hunt is on. Andrew Nobles anxiously awaits a final interview.
Became unemployed in March of 2020 because of the pandemic.
He's one of many who came here to an Aiken career fair, the school district, looking for people with motivation.
Most of the employers today, they're looking for folks to actually come to work. I think that's one of the greatest challenges is students that come, or people in general that come to work.
Additional $300 benefits to the unemployed in both Georgia and South Carolina have ended. Additional pandemic SNAP benefits in South Carolina ending August 1st.
You see that unemployment is starting to disappear. Folks are having to get back to work. You see that we're having a worker shortage across this country, certainly here in Augusta.
It's why the City of Augusta is trying to get more people filling out job applications.
We'll have a job fair with about 60 industries on hand to offer on-spot job interviews and hiring, so that folks can get right back into work during these tough times.
They're also starting a new program called the GROW program. It's a workshop to help prep people for interviews and beef up their resume. But back in Aiken,
Going back to normal in my normal routine, which is working, and that's what I really want to get back to.
Andrew Nobles walked out with a job offer, and many across the CSRA are just one call away from getting back on their feet too. The Augusta Career Fair will be July 30th from 1 to 6 at the Kroc Center. And if you're interested in the GROW program, we'll have details on our website, wrdw.com. Celeste Springer, on your side.
And along with that resume and interview help, the GROW program plans to give you a voucher to buy clothes for your interviews. The sessions will start at 9 a.m. July 17th and 24th at the Municipal Building.
Senator Tim Scott officially